So I think most everybody in the room knows that there's 18 firefighters from the Richland Fire Department going over on March 8th. We're going to climb 69 floors in the Columbia Tower. And it's a competition. And we're in full firefighting gear, wearing an air pack, and all the money that we raise goes to fight blood cancers. Okay?
All right. Yeah!
Last year, Richland Fire was able to raise $36,000 for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Currently, we're sitting at $27,000. So all the money spent here tonight is going to be added on top of that. Plus, we've got another fundraiser event coming up next weekend in hopes to top that $36,000.
Yeah!
Just so everybody knows, that's currently sitting third out of all the fire departments that are competing in this thing. And the only two that are beating us are Seattle Fire as well as Boise Fire, which both have teams of 54 plus. Seattle's 108 plus. So Richland firefighters need to be proud of themselves for what they've done.
Yeah!
This year we've also had a unique opportunity to adopt a team captain. A little gal in Richland, name is Morgan Diaz. And Mom's right here. She's going to come up and say a few words for us right now. So our team captains, Morgan Diaz and Mom Elaine.
Hi. So Morgan couldn't be here tonight because Mom needed a night off. But I'm Elaine, and my 10-year-old daughter Morgan is a leukemia survivor. She's doing great. And she's Richland Fire Department's honoree this year, and we are very honored. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. I can turn it on.
Here you go. So, my friend firefighter Krista Weeks set us up for this. She contacted Richland Fire and told them about Morgan. Is Krista here yet?
She's going to be late.
All right, when Krista gets here, it's her 21st birthday. Make sure you let her know that it's a good day for everyone. So Krista told us about this, and she told us that Adam Hargrove and the Richland Fire Department were sponsoring Morgan. And she said, hey, are you guys going to be around the house on Monday, on the holiday, last Monday? Because some of the firefighters would really like to come and meet Morgan. And I said, oh yeah, we'll be around. Yeah, we'll look forward to meeting a couple of the firefighters. Well, 18 firefighters in full fire gear showed up with an engine and 3 ambulances, sirens going, pulled up in front of our house. It was amazing. They called out to Morgan on the PA. They asked her to come out of the house, and they congratulated her on her fight with leukemia, and they asked her to join them in their fight against blood cancers as their captain. It was amazing.
Awesome.
And these guys make quite an entrance. So the neighbors are still talking about it. They have all kinds of theories. But having met these guys and watched their fundraising efforts over the last few weeks, I'm honored to be a part of this effort. Morgan's honored to be a part of this effort, and I think we ought to be honoring them tonight. So. I want to talk a little bit about what a family going through this goes through, and what it's like. Blood cancer is very rare. 4 people in 10,000 will get lymphoma or leukemia in their lifetimes. So pretty rare. So you kind of assume, nobody in my family's ever going to get this. So that's what we thought. But when it does happen to you, you kind of say, oh, could that be because I had a chocolate bar when I was pregnant with her? Could that be because I didn't always buy organic produce at the grocery store? And the doctors say no, it's just random cell biology. It's every day in our bodies, cells are mutating. And as they mutate, our immune system takes care of them. And every now and then, you get a certain mutation and a certain immune system, and the two don't match. They're not compatible. And that's what causes cancer. And that's why cancer is so hard to fight, because It's different for every person. So that's what we're up against. The doctors and the nurses and the social workers that work in the pediatric oncology wards across this country are amazing people. They're strong and they're determined, and they model the bravery that it takes to get through this fight every day for the families that are going through it. Their treatment's terrible. You don't have much time to process it. We had 4 hours from the time of diagnosis until she was in the OR, getting the port installed so she could have her first chemo right there while she was still sedated. The side effects, I haven't done this yet, so I hope I can get through it without crying. The side effects are terrible. They give you drugs for the side effects, and then there's drugs for the side effects from the drugs they give you for the side effects. So it's a lot. She gained 40% of her body weight in the first month, and she was angry from the steroids and stubborn. She wasn't the same kid for a while, and she only wanted my boyfriend Paul's twice baked potatoes for 3 months. She had to have one at 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So he made thousands of those things, and I had to eat them. They weren't the same when I tried to make them, so he kept us stocked. Her immune system was compromised, and that can be very isolating for a family. So you're afraid to go to the grocery store. People are afraid to come visit you because they're afraid they'll bring you some disease. She lost her hair twice. It was only supposed to happen once. That's really hard for a 2nd grade and 3rd grade girl to go through. She, towards the end of our 27-month battle, our 27-month chemotherapy, her kidney and liver function was compromised, and the doctors were saying, gosh, you know, this can't be over soon enough. And I was saying, you're absolutely right. But even with all this, we were very lucky. We were one of the lucky families. Morgan is in remission. She's been in remission 3 years. It's been a year since she finished her chemotherapy with no recurrence. We have 4 more years of holding our breath, and we're cured. Not all families were as lucky as we were. A lot of the families you see in the oncology ward are going through a lot. You'll see those kids, some of them are coming in for their 2nd or 3rd round of chemo. They're high-risk patients. They're getting very serious doses of chemotherapy. The parents, dad sleeps in the chair next to the bed, gets up in the morning, showers in the hospital room, shaves and goes to work. And mom gets all the other siblings off to school and then comes in and does the day shift at the hospital with the sick child. It's a lot. Those parents are going through a lot. The siblings are going through a lot. They're worried for their brother or sister. They're scared, and they don't have as much time with mom and dad, and life is disrupted. And then there's the financial burden for the families. So the money raised here tonight, part of those funds go to help families through family support groups and financial aid for patients. So thank you all for being here for that. The kids that you meet in the wards, they're wise beyond their years. My daughter Morgan, I was driving her to chemo one day, and the radio was on in the car, and it was the Beatles, All You Need Is Love. And she hadn't heard it before, and because she's 10. And she listened to it for a while, and then she said, Mom, you know, that's really true. And I was just driving, I wasn't paying attention. I said, what's true? And she said, all you need is love. And I said, well, no, you need a mortgage, and a car, and groceries, and a good job. And she said, no, Mom. She said, those things are a lot easier to find. So, kids are amazing. Some moments as you're going through this kind of make you stop and think. I took the cat to the vet, and the vet said, you know, while you're doing these vaccinations, do you want to just vaccinate this cat for feline leukemia? And I said, yes, and can I bring my son and daughter into it? And you know, imagine that. Just imagine a world where there was a vaccine for cancer. That's what we need to get to, and we're going to get to that. And the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society is going to help us get there. So most of the funds raised tonight go to support cancer research to find a better and a safer cure. and hopefully one day a vaccine, so we never have to do this again. So I want to end with 2 positive things that I learned from this experience. Number 1, every moment you spend with loved ones is precious. And you know, we got through chemo, we recuperated for a couple of months, and then we just jetted off to Disneyland. You know, we couldn't afford it, who cares? We just went off and we had a good summer and we had fun. And that's just a lesson we took from this, and every time we get a chance to, we just build moments and memories. And number 2, what really came home for me, you know, the Tri-Cities, I'm from Portland, I'm used to big city life. This isn't my hometown originally, but I've been here 15 years, I love it here. It's a really special place. So we're not necessarily the most scenic town. We don't have any native trees here. You know, for a Portlander, it's kind of like, this is a little weird. There's not a 30-page section of arts and entertainment every week in the paper. What am I gonna do? But you know what? This whole community got behind us. They came together, they helped. It was amazing. My friends and neighbors cleaned our house. We had to leave for 3 months to start chemotherapy. They came over, they took care of my dog. They found a foster family when we couldn't watch our gigantic puppy anymore. And she stayed with them until we could take her again. And they cleaned our house before we came home. My coworkers donated hours of personal vacation time so that I could be with Morgan for every chemo treatment. And the school educated all the other kids on leukemia so that when Morgan came home, she got a hero's welcome. No kid in that school cared if she had hair or not. They just embraced her as a returning war hero. It was amazing. So this town is very special. Richland Fire Department is very special. They do this every year. And as Damon told you, they've raised a lot of money. It's an incredible physical exertion for them. And it's a sacrifice of time with their own families and resources and everything that goes into all the fundraising they do. And they are, despite the fact that we're a small town, they are way up there in the fundraising effort. There's 300-something teams competing, and they're in the top 3. So, tonight, the honorees tonight. The honoree tonight isn't Morgan. The honorees tonight are this small town firefighting team. And I want to thank them and congratulate them. And I hope that we all can help them and honor them by bidding high, donating a lot, and helping them achieve their goals on March 8th, cheering them on as they climb almost 1,000 feet in Seattle. Thank you very much. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you.